Here are three students, Kat and Eva. They've done a first project called Papadot. Amir has done a first project called Trinity App. I have no idea what these are, but these are examples of what they've done so far. They've actually developed some software already in the first month of the course, and now they're all worn out and they're on spring break. And when they come back, they're going to do some more substantial applications with GPS type applications. So there are two things that kind of come out of this non-majors course. First of all, I think students will find computer science interesting and exciting when they're given good tools, meaningful projects, and a FOSS perspective, an open source perspective. That is, a humanitarian FOSS perspective in particular, puts a student in touch with a service learning activity while they're actually taking a course and getting academic credit. So in a sense, everybody sort of wins. Second of all, computer science, I think, and these kinds of courses can make computer science accessible to a much more diverse range of very smart students. And there are really good, smart sociology majors out there to be had than the current computer science culture tends to admit. And there's an opportunity here in this non-majors course to widen the opening and open the door to that broad range of smart students. And we need to do that better as computer science educators than we have in the past. And this is one way in which I think we can do it. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the HFOSS Summer Internship Program. It's an intensive 10-week summer experience for undergrads. They all work on ongoing active FOSS projects. The interns work in small teams with faculty mentors. The application process is competitive. We find that the acceptance rate over the first 3 summers, we're going through the application process now for the summer of 2011, accepts about 50% of the applicants. Yes, sir?
Yes, just back up
one slide?
Yeah. This question is just in reference to the service learning course. Now, is the syllabus available for that course?
Is there?
Is the syllabus available for that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, go to that website, the Ralph's website on that slide, and you can download it. It's all this stuff is available. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And importantly, in the internship, students really get comfortable intensively for 10 weeks working with all the collaborative discussion tools and collaborative software development tools that they need to. They need to work with bug tracking and so on. Yes?
Where does the funding come from?
Funding comes from National Science Foundation. I'll tell you, we'll talk more about that a little bit later because it's running out. So here's some stats on the 3 summer internships that we've run so far. We had 13 in 2008. We had 11 in 2009. In 2010, last summer, we had 5, 11, 19. So it jumped from to 19. That's because we got a new grant for this particular summer, which added money for more interns, and we could accept more students. And this time we have 30 applicants at this point. Applications are now closed. And now the applications are coming from 9 different colleges and rather than just 3. So gradually this community is growing. I was the outside evaluator for this HFOSS project during its first 2-year NSF grant. And I spent a lot of time collecting testimonial from students and faculty members and industry partners who were participating in all these efforts. And to a person, I don't remember seeing anything negative about this whole experience. And that's probably a little self-serving to say, and you really have to trust me, I guess, to believe what I say. But this is the kind of comment, these are the kinds of comments we got back from students who were engaged in the summer internships in the intermediate level software engineering or software development courses. It was uniformly positive. Most students said, gee, I had no idea computer science was like this. I thought computer science was for hackers, in the back room working individually on long hours and weekends on programs. But this really is a different kind of discipline than I thought. And that's, I think, the kind of message that has to go out if in fact we're going to attract more bright students and a more diverse group of bright students to this field. The CS260 course is the one that I taught with my 4 Bowdoin students. And it's set up as a one-semester course. I'll show you how we march through the semester in a couple of minutes. The students learn to use tools. They learn to use version control, for example, unit testing. They follow good coding standards. They do code reviews. Instructors, I set milestones. Well, we have a weekly meeting by Skype if I'm not present there on campus. I assign tasks. I provide coding exemplars, and I, of course, evaluate the outcomes. And I'm kind of the benevolent dictator, if you will, of the project. In spring 2008, we did the course with 4 students. Right now, I'm doing a course with another 2 students, even though I'm retired. I'm just so excited about this whole software development methodology that I have a very difficult time, as my wife will attest, retiring and stopping thinking about it. Sometimes it drives me crazy, but it's just wonderful. Yes, Brian.
I noticed you mentioned agile development. Do you have to explain that to them, or are they already exposed to that in other courses?
They don't know agile development. They don't know anything about software development, my students. They're smart kids. They're good programmers. They've done Intro CS. They've done data structures. They've done some algorithms. They've done some hardware architecture, but they haven't done software development at all. Working in teams, for them, is cheating. So I have to disavow them of that and say, okay, you get rewarded for working together. It's wonderful. So no, they don't know Agile. And so they're turning out incremental results just about every week. And the client at the Ronald McDonald House, she's part of the discussion. And she says, well, I like this, but I don't like that. And we listen. And they understand that, you know, if you want to do anything really useful, you have to have the client there at the table. And so many software houses have failed to do that over the past several decades, but some are now doing it better. Yeah.
Is this almost a technology apprenticeship?
I'm sorry?
Is this almost kind of a technology apprenticeship approach?
It's an apprenticeship approach, yeah. You can look at it that way, yeah. And there's a lot of modeling involved. And hopefully I make a good model. What I do makes a good model. Yeah, that's a very good way to characterize it. Okay, so the course runs kind of like this, okay? And it runs all the way down through client training and installation at the end, which was a surprise to me, but that's what happened. I had an unusually good group of students. If you want to break it down week by week in the semester, this also accommodates spring break. It runs something like this, where during the final exam period, the students make a presentation and they actually install the software, and there's usually some sort of a public event that goes along with it. Out of this came the textbook that I held up a few minutes ago. If you're interested in looking at the textbook in detail, I have a copy here, and if you're an instructor in a course and you want to think about cloning this course in your institution, the publisher has actually given me 10 copies of this to hand out at this talk, after this talk, if you're interested. And all you have to do is fill out a short form and put down your email address, and you can have a copy of the book. Yes?
What operating system does this run on?
All operating systems. It's PHP MySQL, and so it's web-based. So it runs on all platforms.
So is it W3C compliant? Is it compliant with any browser?
It's all browser compliant. All browsers can. Yeah, you can connect right now to this to the Ronald McDonald House in Portland, Maine, and you can see it no matter what browser you're on. It's all web-based. Okay, this is what's in the textbook. I only put this slide on there incidentally because it's interesting that this book kind of lays out in sharp contrast with a traditional software engineering book. In a traditional software engineering book or course, what do you start with? What's the first thing you do? Requirements analysis, right? You gather requirements. Well, here's where requirements analysis in this book is. It's at the end. Why? Because when you come into an open source software project, you have a code base, right? And you want to start by working with the code. You don't want to start by gathering ideas about what new feature. You want to start by learning about the code. So we start with the code base and learning how to work with a team. We learn how to work with tools, and then we start with the code. And finally, there's a little bit about, this is project management for you software engineering people in the crowd. Project governance, they now call it. I guess it's the same thing, but it has its certain very important nuances. But this is really requirements analysis, but in an agile sort of a spirit. You think about user stories and things like that.